Welcome. I just wanted to talk about money. So, in order to do that, we're going to watch this video and I'm going to react to it. It's called Physics Energy Transformation by AboodyTV on YouTube. Link in the description. And
What's going on, guys, and welcome to AboodyTV. And today we will be studying energy transformation. For things to happen, we need energy. We need energy to swim, run, walk, and even just laying down on the bed reading a book. We need energy. Energy can neither be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed from one form to another. This is called the law of conversion, and it means that to be able to use energy, we need to transform it from one form to another. There are many different forms of energy. For example, we have kinetic energy, which is movement energy. We also have electrical, heat, light, nuclear, and chemical energy. If we, for example, take a look at a car, we can see that a car engine transforms chemical energy, which is stored in the fuel, and transform it into kinetic energy. You need to know that during every transformation, a small amount of energy is always transformed into unwanted forms. This is called wasted energy. If we look back at the car again, a huge amount of the chemical energy.
think of every time we convert our energy into money and then use that money to purchase something, converting it into something else each time, as he mentioned,
is stored in the fuel and transform it into kinetic energy.
the energy stored in our being, let's say, converting it into an exchangeable medium of currency.
You need to know that during every transformation, a small amount of energy is always transformed into unwanted forms. This is called wasted energy. If we look back
Inherent to the process.
at the car again, a huge amount of the chemical energy that is stored in the fuel will be transformed into wasted energy, such as heat and sound. In physics, if you want to show how energy is stored and converted, you need to draw a diagram. One of the simplest diagrams is called the Sankey Diagram. If we want to create a Sankey diagram to show the energy transformation in a car, the energy input is 100%, and in this example it is chemical energy. If we, for example, say that 40% of the energy is converted into kinetic energy to move the car, that means that 60% of the energy input is transformed into wasted energy, such as heat and sound. And always remember, when drawing a Sankey diagram, the width of the arrows is always proportional to the amount of energy involved. Using this type of diagram will make it very easy for you to calculate the efficiency, which is the percentage of the energy input that is actually being transformed to useful energy. To calculate the efficiency, you take the amount of energy output that is useful for you and divide it by the total energy input.
Now this is efficiency, but any loss next to no loss is inefficient. It doesn't really matter. So when it comes to money, if we literally just didn't use it, there would be no step of energy conversion with a loss included. And therefore society at large over time would have all that energy loss that is being accepted as just necessary because we're choosing to use money, currency, because we're choosing to convert energy, because it's easier in a sense, but we can choose to literally just give. A gift economy has no inefficiencies, acknowledging people's inherent value and aiming for equilibrium within society so no one is like better off to such a high degree that there's a distinct imbalance. This comes across the whole spectrum of things, not just financially. We all have our wealths to share, like wealth of knowledge from our experiences. Everyone has wealth to share. And when we're a single system, there's no exchange outward happening, so there's not this waste. This waste only happens when we're like separate systems, and then there's this environment of just whatever the fuck and whatever the energy is being dissipated into, which is probably like not good. Because essentially this money depends on the way it's formed. So if it has a gold standard, then it's almost like the money itself has a container that holds the energy within it that is made of gold. Versus like how the dollar is now, where there is no gold standard, but what's the container is just, it has value. It has value. See, it has value. We're all saying it has value. That's pushing in on it, but it's just air. It's not high pressure. It requires like energy exertion. It takes energy to keep it afloat in this state because it's not surrounded by a container anymore of gold. If it was gold, then like when we put the energy in, get the money, we get the money. The energy put in is going to stay in the money. But because it's not contained in gold, it's just contained in air, which is porous. It's going to just dissipate out, and then we call it inflation. When what's happening is the design of the currency is flawed because air doesn't form a container. I know, it's hard to explain that to people who, physicists and so on. No, air, not the optimal material for a container. If you want something to like hold this shit in it eternally, gold's probably pretty good next to air. And that's why when we have a gold standard, it's able to be used without like a high inefficiency. Like the rate of exchange is almost perfectly efficient when we use it right. Well, this dollar is worth $1 worth of gold. Wow, we can actually exchange at any point because the system's not fucked. Anyone, literally everyone, can go in and get the exchange of gold, and it wouldn't actually cause chaos because we have the backing, you know. But when we're like, fuck it, we'll just say it has value. Then it starts to creep down this number, this efficiency, you know. At some point, it's just literally worthless.
This will give you an answer in decimal form, and if you multiply it by 100, it will give you the percentage. Were you paying attention? Answer these 4 questions and find out.
Uh-oh. Shit.
Question number 1. State and explain the law of conversion. Question number 2.
Oh my God.
Name 6 different forms of energy.
Prepared for this.
Question number 3. Describe energy transformation. And finally, question number 4. Describe a Sankey diagram and how it can be used.
Okay, let's see if I can do my best. Law of conversion. I mean, I think it's conservation of energy is talking about. And conversion between states is always the same amount of energy. In essence, energy cannot be created or destroyed. Chemical. Oh my God. It's hilarious. I have to cheat. Just energy. It's just energy in different forms. I mean, fuck. This video is more about actual energy conversion. Pardon my ignorance. How dare he? This is what happens when you're like all over the place. Like literally. Oh, are you not completely refined in the precise area that I'm refined in? You're wrong. You're wrong. Sankey diagram is that inefficiency diagram. I mean, it didn't seem very useful, except for just to like display the inefficiency in some arrow form. And so, I just, gotta include all the truth. I mean, this is just where I'm at. It doesn't make me wrong. It's hilarious too, because there's so much reason to not hear me out, and I just, this is like, damn, he's fucking, where are you paying? Oh, fuck, I'm getting fucking tested. You know how testing happens. Oh, pop quiz. Either you like are mentally in a state of I'm ready for this, or you're like I'm not ready for this, and here I am. Okay. What can I talk about? So that's really the key. I just wanted to talk about money and its inefficiencies and propose essentially, so like the reason we use money is because we want, instead of a barter system, like if I have product A and you have product B and I want product B but you don't want product A, I can't make an exchange with you unless I get product C that you want, let's say. But by having currency, it makes things easier in those ways, but it comes at a cost. And it's all under this first step assumption that comes at the very beginning. Okay, we must get the return from who we give it to. If I have product A and I just give it to someone who needs product A, and I find someone who has product B and I say, hey, I need this, and they give it to me, and then someone else gives them what they need, and we all participate in this manner, then there's no need to be like, yeah, they didn't pay me back. They didn't pay me back individually, because it's not about the individual paying you back. It's about the way the universe is. When we just live as if we're communicating with the totality of the universe here, and then the totality of the universe gives back, an exchange happens through the totality of the universe rather than through that individual, then we can let go and be like, let's use the most efficient system with no inefficiencies. Gift economy is the way, and it's not only the way, it's the only way. This shit doesn't work. Money is only like a temporary thing because of this inherent inefficiency of money. I mean, even if we literally, I mean, let's say we figure things out and we get rid of money, but then we create money that's truly, truly on the gold standard, just for ease, then, I mean, it could work theoretically for like, as long as we value that it literally can be exchanged for the gold at any point. At everyone's, this is like open knowledge what's going on. But I mean, the thing with that is someone could just steal all the gold, you know. You know what, I don't like this way that I gotta like participate. I preferred it how things were, and I'll just force people by stealing everything again. You know, we don't have to give people that opportunity, and there's the added cost that gold, it could be used elsewhere, like technology that's useful, rather than just like locking it away in a corner. Which ultimately, regardless of how perfect of an energy storage it is, like gold is like, it's not going to corrode, so it's not going to like dissipate over time to the environment in a way like iron would just kind of disappear. Like, but gold, it'll stick around pretty good, but it's still going to lose some like slight energy dissipation to the environment if we decide to just use it as a gold standard means for money, because I mean, it comes back to just it's just an exchange with the universe, and if we give, we will be given. Trust in the universe, trust in God, sorry. Trust in one another. Because really, everyone's trying their best, you know? And when we make it so like they really have to pay back directly, like the exchange must be direct and spontaneous, like without delay, then it limits our capacity to function and causes struggle that maybe helps us evolve ultimately. But at some point we can say, you know what, we've had enough of this inefficiency, and we would prefer it if we just had an equal part inherently recognized, like we understood it. And that just would come by a gift economy. If we acknowledged we are all equal and just did our best and brought what we could in this moment while aiming to change ourselves, if we so choose, to be able to bring even more in a future moment, and just constantly aiming for growth as much as we can to feed into the overall system, to lift up the tides, then our boats shall rise together. But if we just let the like overall energy of the system dissipate because we're using inefficient processes, money, as an exchange of energy, which inherently causes dissipation and waste, literally, they even call it waste. It's like, from a physics standpoint, it is waste energy, not useful. And that's what we're doing, and it adds up over time. to the point where we can no longer make the same decisions because the waste is like so accumulated that it causes like a collapse. It's kind of like there's a steady state, and we start to waste energy off of that steady state, so it starts to over time dip down, but then at some point it really goes exponential and starts to collapse down to basically money is useless. It will be useless because it's not efficient. It's really that simple. Like one day we as a collective will say, you know, this is wasteful. Let's stop being wasteful. Isn't that what we do? Isn't that like green? You know, the green movement. Let's not be wasteful. We're literally being wasteful in designs that we choose to function by as a collective. And we don't have to be. So that's all I wanted to say. Why I wanted to do this video. Reaction to an energy transformation type of video. Maybe I'll ask the same. Were you paying attention? 1, why is money inherently inefficient? 2, name an alternative to money that isn't inefficient. 3, describe how this doesn't have inefficiencies within the operations. And 4, what are you gonna do about it? See you guys. Oh, and by the way, when tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. Don't forget, he said duty.